Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within.
Hello and good morning. We are so happy to have you here with us this morning. My name is Allison Mancini and I am your holistic nutritionist.
And I am Julietta, the magical PT. Welcome to our Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we interview goddesses to help them share their wisdom to support you in becoming the goddess you are meant to be. Welcome, welcome to our show. We are so happy you are here. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience and tell them a little bit about what you do?
Oh, a little bit about what I do. Let's see. That'll be a challenge. Hi, everybody. Thank you, ladies, for having me. I love both of you. And Allison, even though we've only met virtually, I still feel like I know you. So I think it counts.
Yeah.
You know, I also know like George Michael, right? Because, you know, that's who I loved when I was 12. So it's equal affection. So my name is Graciela Valdes, and I am a portrait photographer. I specialize in boudoir and personal branding. I always say that I take pictures of who you are and not just what you look like. So yes, of course, it's all has to translate visually and physically, but it's really more about what's in your heart and your mind more than what's on your thighs. And I do a bit throughout the community here and there. I'm the chair of the Women's Council at the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce. I participate with on the board of Bowtie Kids, a nonprofit that supports kids living in chronic pain. I'm the past chair of a nonprofit that helps survivors of human trafficking. So I have my hand in a little bit of everything. I also homeschool my now 12-year-old twins. Ask me how I have 12-year-old children. I don't even know. And yeah, life is full and fun and crazy. And yeah, it's a hot mess, but I love it.
This woman, like, I don't even know, like, I can't even fathom in my mind how you do everything that you do. Like, it seems virtually impossible. Like, there's a part of me that's pretty sure there's at least like 5 Gracielas that are like handling all these things, and you only see one at a time, but one day I'm going to see like 2 of them in one place, and I'm going to go,
so funny.
Yeah, I know that's how she does it. Because,
you know,
it's just, you are the most amazing human being I know, I think.
Thank you for that. You know, I always tell people, I'm like, don't be impressed. This is like chemical imbalances and a trauma response. Like, I'm probably ADHD, and my crazy childhood made me a perfectionist. And so it's just obsessive compulsive behavior that makes me do lots and lots of stuff and do it all perfectly. So yeah, that's normal, isn't it?
That was awesome.
You're amazing.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
No,
wait, so are your twins boys, girls?
One of each.
One of each. Nice. Where's your studio located? Right in Fort Lauderdale? Where are you at?
I'm in Oakland Park, right downtown, kind of near Funky Buddha, that area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's up
Her
it's
studio.
really pretty.
It's the cutest studio that you've ever seen. Like, I want to go move in there. And
well, it's totally intended to look like an apartment and not like a photo studio. So
yeah,
kind of like if you don't have kids and you're allowed to have velvety, delicious furniture, that's what this is like.
I feel like I've seen it.
I did it just because I can't have all that at home now, right?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it on social media. You have posted something. Yeah.
I hope so.
For sure you have. And she has this rug that like all you want to do is like lay on it and luxuriate on it, and
$5 a roll. Yeah, you can come. my space, I'm very texture oriented, so like if I sink into a pile of pillows, that feels really good to me. So the space kind of has that same, you know, everything is velvety, like everything has a texture to it. So aside from having to be, of course, visually fabulous because I shoot with it, so yeah. It's a lot of fun. I love having the space.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So we ready to dive into our questions, ladies?
Let's do it. I haven't been overthinking at all. Go ahead.
So, Graciela, what is your superpower, or what would you choose it to be?
Oh, superpower. You know, aside from the chemical imbalance and trauma response, I think that my superpower might be just being empathetic. Really, people seem to tell me that I'm really good at making connections. So for me, it is easy for me to take folks as they are when they come in. So I think I'm good at like receiving whatever energy that they have and just kind of trying to reflect it back. That, and I am absolutely 110% convinced of my inability to fail. It is not even an option. I tell people my parents came from Cuba when they were, teenagers. And I thought, if my mom can come to this country with a seventh grade education and live her whole entire life raising 3 kids as a single mom, like, what am I not capable of? It's just a matter of doing it. That's all. I'm 100% convinced I could be a brain surgeon if I wanted to. I just don't, because I like boudoir better.
It kind of goes into Allison and I love to use the phrase everything is figure outable.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yep. I know.
I
And you know
love
what?
that.
I love surrounding myself with people that know more than I do, that like being keenly aware of my chosen limitations. And then surrounding myself with people that know better, and letting them do what they do. I love that. I'm okay with that.
What were you going to say, Allison? Are you
I
there?
love that you are 100% certain you will not fail. I think that's awesome. And
You
I
did
think
freeze
you
for a
guys losing
moment.
me.
It's okay. You
I'm
Yeah.
are.
back. I'm back. But I
Thank you.
I love that. I think that is so many our kids need that, adults need that. I run into women all the time. Even in myself in the past, I've been fearful and afraid and hesitant. And, like Juliet and I with this podcast, we were like, oh, and we're like, we'll figure it out. We'll do it. We can do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it does work out, right? Like there's that one phrase or meme or whatever that says, so far you have 100% success rate of surviving every single day of your life. And it's absolutely true. Like, no matter what has happened in your life, you have woken up every single day. And, not to be Annie about it, but the sun does come up, like it does. And it does happen every day. Yesterday, my kids had one of those knockdown, drag out arguments. They're twins. What are you going to do? Right. So, I mean, they're siblings, right? So they had this big argument. And I'm like, look, guys, no matter what happens, 24 hours from now, you will have a completely different life, a completely different day. And it's just going to be different. You'll be a different person. The situation will be different, like just everything is impermanent. Like that to me is so comforting, and also lights a fire under your ass, but yeah. Right?
Yes, so true, so true. I love the talk about impermanence. I don't know if either of you have had the opportunity to this place that I worked, we had the Tibetan monks come in and build one of their, I mean, they're just so elaborate. They're sand mandalas,
Yeah.
like, and watching them like sand grain by sand grain, they're like creating this amazing work of art. And then you all sit there and go like, wow, that's amazing. It like takes them like a week to make this thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they go, yep, it's beautiful. And they sweep it all up in this ceremony and it's gone. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. I've
Like,
seen it. I studied quite a bit actually, with Buddhism and stuff, and definitely it's the path that feels the most genuine to me. I don't know, it feels best to me. But yeah, it really is amazing, and if you think about what they do and how they do it, it like a lot of it is true. Like, I'm not vegan, but I hear how they talk about respect for life, and they're not even like, the monks are not even allowed to pull a weed because a weed is a living thing. And wow, if you really think about all of that, right? What enormous respect you would have for all living things, you know? So I really enjoy that. And yeah, those, I've seen that done, the mandalas, and it is amazing, right? Because I create like one photograph and I want to like frame it, shellac it, staple it to the wall, make sure it doesn't fall. And these guys are creating sand art and then they just sweep it all up. And that's it.
Like nothing. Yeah. No, like you look at like photography now, I mean, thanks to like the digital world now, it can last forever. Like it never has to go away.
Yeah.
And yeah, this amazing piece of sand art that they spent hours and
Baking.
hours, like just grain of sand by grain of sand creating, and then bloop, it's gone. Bye-bye.
Yep.
So
it's really
all right.
interesting, and that's one of the things of teaching my kids, you know, is that whole thing of impermanence, right? Because it makes you appreciate what you have, and it makes you let go of what you don't need, because it's not going to last. Even the worst story you've ever heard is still just a story in the past. So that's
exactly.
Okay.
Awesome. We got to get moving on our questions, ladies. I knew we would have this problem with this episode. So, what is a book that you have that has greatly influenced your life?
Okay, so this is like a really loaded question for me because I am an English major and I used to teach high school English. And so I've literally made a life of reading. In my home, I probably have at least 2,000 books without exaggeration. So, you know, I've always felt that every book has the potential to change my life, right? There's always one sentence out of every book that holds the key to something. And I'm sure you can think of little phrases that you've heard throughout your life, right? Like Emily Dickinson saying, you know, there is no frigate like a book, right? Like there's nothing that can transport you as much as your own imagination within a book, right? So this was a really hard question. And I have to say, because your question is the influence in my life, I'm going to say that the book is called The Art of Boudoir Photography. And I'll tell you why. So, of course, I've read all the big life-changing, life-altering, you know, those kinds of books. And they have taught me things and set me on the right path. But opening the Art of Boudoir Photography by Christa Meola, it has its beautiful soft image on the front. The book itself is satiny, again, referred to my texture comment earlier, right? So the book itself feels sexy. But when I opened that book and I realized that you could create incredible art of women in an intimate way and have it change their lives, I was like, that is for me. I didn't know that we could do that. Like I knew that artists did nude images. I knew that there's been a million, study of the female figure, but to know that I could do that individually for one person and have that impact that one person's life, that was like a magic moment for me. And I mean, that's how I am where I am today, right? I was a paralegal for 20 years. I gave up my day job. I've been doing this for 9 years, and it has such an incredible ripple effect, right? Because what I do affects how my clients feel and then how they show up in the world. And it's literally endless. So like my actions have endless results. So not only has that influenced my life, but it flows out from there, you know, my family, our quality of life, my friends and everybody that comes see me. So yeah, that's it. The Art of Boudoir Photography. And who would have thought? I know you guys were waiting for some Paulo Coelho stuff.
No, I love it. No, I love, I'm almost 100% sure that no guest that we have on will ever repeat this book as their most influential book. And I have to say, as someone who has done a boudoir shoot with Graciela, it is 1,000% life-changing. This woman has mad skills to help you love the body that you live in, regardless of what it looks like. And it's, if you haven't done it, do it.
Thank you. It really I have to tell you guys a story really quickly about my mom. So my mom, back in the 80s, my parents got divorced after being married for 24 years. And I was the youngest of 3 girls. I was home with her. I was in middle school. And I remember her coming home one day with these photographs and she wouldn't show them to me. And I'm like, why would you show them to me? And she's like, because I had this boudoir photography done. And I was like, you had what done? Now, mind you, I'm like 13 or 14. She has just gone through a horrible divorce. She's a single mom. It's the 80s. So divorces were not super common. So she was really, like you just said, Graciela, how it really changes women's lives. And it was really, I think, a moment when I look back at it now as an adult, looking back on what my mom went through, I'm sure for her, that was a pivotal moment for her to like take control of herself, her world, her life, everything that was going on. She still has that picture and it hangs up on her wall.
You
It is
see,
absolutely stunning of my mother.
that's
So, yes, I
that's amazing.
love that you're doing this.
That's amazing. You know, I tell my clients all the time, try and invest in a little wall art and put something up on the wall because, you know, if you look at any building that you walk into, any schoolhouse or what have you, schoolhouse, what is it, 1885? So you walk into any of these places and there's pictures up on the wall of who? Of people we admire, of people we want to be like. Well, why the heck don't we have our own picture up there? Why can't you wake up every day, see that picture of you being at your best and go, oh yeah, I know everything's falling apart, but I remember I'm a badass. I got this, and keep on
Yes.
going, right? Like it is a constant reminder to you. You know, I had one client, she texted me. Well, I texted her and I was like, how's my album? I miss my album, you know, because I create these with so much of myself and then I have to give it away and they leave with it, you know. So I'm like, how's my baby? You know, and she texted me back and she said, you know, when I think about my shoot, I get this little rush of power, you know. She goes, it's not overwhelming, it's not something that derails my day or anything like that. She goes, but for just a second when I think about it, I'm like, oof, I remember I'm a badass, you know. And she just, so to me that's what it is, and it's a constant reminder, right? Like again, your mom has had it up
That's
there since you were
100%
13.
what your pictures do for me. Like, if I am having a bad day, I look at, you know, my favorite one with the moon, and
I am a
like I
goddess.
look at that and I'm like, that is me. That is the goddess that I am, the powerful woman that I am. And like those pictures are for me and to remind me that I am a goddess and I can do anything.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I love it. I think it's important. I've had my own boudoir shoot done twice. And each time I do a shoot, I learn something more about myself. And each time I look back at my pictures, I learn something even more. So for me, it's literally like the gift that keeps on giving, because how I felt the day that I shot, how I felt the first time I saw the pictures, how I felt 3 months later, it's different every time. I'm picking up something different
exactly.
every time. It's fascinating. Yeah. And it's documenting this too, right? You know, can't
So
wait till
cool.
I'm 90 and I can go, man, look at me. I was so hot.
Yeah, that's like my mom. She's 80, she's almost 82, and she looks at these pictures like how empowering that must feel. Like,
That's
I want
awesome.
to have a boudoir shoot when I'm 80.
Yes.
there
I
you
have,
go.
let me tell you, I have plenty of that. I would say my average client is between 35 and 65. I have plenty
Wow.
of women in their 60s just coming in, and honestly they're the ones that are ready to get naked the fastest. They're like, woo, like they're like, I'm done. I have
Awesome.
0 fucks left to give. I can do whatever I want, you know. So yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Sure.
You know, I have also, Allison, a lot of folks that come in with past traumas, you know, sexual
Mm,
abuse, really abusive marriages, you know, just different types of you know, trauma that's gone on through their lives, weight loss
mhm,
journeys and things like that. And it is amazing how much a shoot almost like it's always part celebration and part transformation. Like there's always a combination of that, because you just you feel it, you know, like it's taking back your power, it's taking back who you are, it's owning a piece of you that maybe you had given away or that was taken from you. But when you do your shoot, you're in it, it's just you, and you're making all the decisions and you're deciding what you want to do. You know, one of the things I do when folks come in is you know, I try and say, let's practice. I'm not comfortable with that. If you tell me I want to do my shoot that looks like this, and I say, well, what about this position? I want you to say, I'm not comfortable with that. Or how about we try something else, right? Because it's not about me and what I want to get out of it. I can shoot whatever I want. It's up to you. What do you feel good in? And so it is an exercise in consent. It's an exercise in voicing what you need in that moment. You know, sometimes my clients break down and cry in the chair, you know, and in the makeup chair. And that's okay. We make space for that. Like, this is not automated. I'm not the type of person that you come in for 45 minutes, pose A, pose B, get out, leave. It's not like that. It's very much a journey and a process, and it's fun and full of champagne too. You can work on yourself and have champagne.
That's awesome.
Yes. All right. We got to move along. We're like talking too much. What is your favorite self-care practice, Graciela?
Ooh, probably the thing that really, really works for me is traveling, getting in the car and driving away somewhere, preferably something with a mountain view and a lake view. That really does it for me. If I have to stay in town, I don't like going to the beach. I think that someone needs to vacuum all that sand up and then call me when they're done. So what I like to do is I like going to like the restaurant across the street so I can get the ocean breeze while I have my brunch. That to me is relaxation. One day when my kids were little, I just needed a day to myself, right? And so I was like, well, let me go have breakfast at the Atlantic Hotel. I'll sit by the water, like across the street, not that close to the water. And I'll read a book. And so I started reading a book, having breakfast. And by the time I was done, it was 6 hours later. I had finished the whole book. I had ordered breakfast and lunch. Nobody bothered me for 6 hours. Nobody asked me any questions. That was the best day ever. It was just, and you know what? It was all for me. So,
Love it.
Those are the best days.
I'm with you on that sand stuff too. Like,
my friend Allison, Allison is not this Allison, my other friend Allison. She loves the beach. She is full of sand 24/7. At any given moment, she could sneeze and a little puff of sand comes out because she loves it. And she's at me, and she goes with her kids and she gives them this really awesome life. I'm like, let's go to the pool, guys.
Totally with you on that.
I'm a lake girl, so I'm all about the lakes. So, yeah, but I do love that.
Way better.
I like you said, I like sitting and looking at the ocean. I think it's beautiful. I love the smell of it. I love the sound of the waves, but the sand I could do without.
Exactly. Vacuum it up and then call me. I agree.
Cool. All right. Last question. How do you create accountability in your life, Graciela?
So on both sides, really, business and personal, I have a lot of mentors and coaches and people that I pay to yell at me. I'm very ADHD.
I pay people to yell at me. I love it.
Totally. Well, not yell because I'm sensitive, but keep me on track. That, and I just have a really good set of friends, like I have really good friends that I'm constantly talking to, and they're always like, hey, did you, what about this and what about that? Or, I have friends that love me enough to call me out. Like if I put something on my website or if I say something and I'm using the wrong term or things like that. Like to me, I would so much, like to me, you're my friend. If you say, hey, what you said was not right, say it like, check yourself, like that to me is love, right? Like, keeping me on my mission, on my path, and yeah, I'm very coach and mentor heavy. I know what I don't know. And then of course, what you don't know that you don't know. And like I said, it's going back to the beginning, it's about the books, right? There's secrets out there that are going to blow my mind and make my life 1,000 times easier. So I ask a lot and I get a lot of support that way, personal and professional. I even just hired the Profit First coach. Like, what do I do with money? I don't know. So, yeah.
No, I think that's such a good point. I had someone say to me recently that, think about it, with our kids or even when we were kids, we had lessons. Our parents hired coaches, or as a parent, you hired, I hired so many stuff for my kids, coaches with my son with hockey, instructors with my daughter with dance. But yet as adults, we somehow think that we just don't need that anymore. It's like the weirdest thing. So I am a huge proponent, coaches, mentors, accountability. I love that you have friends that call you out. I definitely have friends like that, Julietta and some other women I can think of that'll be like, hey, you need to like really take a look at that. Like,
right.
That you might want to rethink that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's awesome.
My friend, Dr. Elaine, she's a chiropractor, and she'll say to me, perhaps you should consider, XYZ. Like, she's so gentle about it, right? And then I have my sister who calls me and she's like, what is wrong with you? So I have the gamut of, I have all the friends. depending on what's going on that day.
Totally. All right, it's takeaway time, ladies.
Am I going first?
You can go first.
Okay, so this is my takeaway. I'm actually really excited about this. I need Graciela's energy. I need her outlook on life because holy cow, like I couldn't write fast enough at all the amazing things she was saying, all the little nuggets of wisdom. I love like, the impermanence of the day and your inability to fail and everything about teaching your kids. I love that with your kids when they got into argument, you're like 24 hours, tomorrow's gonna be a totally different day. And it's so true. When we have like the most horrible things happen, 24 hours from then is not going to be the same. It's going to be totally different. And so that's my takeaway. I need to somehow like osmosisly get all of Graciela's energy. I don't know.
Coaches in practice and charcuterie boards and wine. Somewhere in that circle is the answer.
And I think I probably need to do a boudoir shoot. I have never done one. So I probably need to move in that direction too.
Well,
most amazing experience.
Let's see how you do, right? You could do in a non-sexual way, do a shoot with you and your mom. Is your mom still around?
Yeah, but she's in Texas. If I get her here, yes. If I get her here, we could do one. That would actually be fun.
Just do a sweet mother-daughter, like that'd be really neat.
Yeah, I love that. All right.
Thank you.
So, my takeaway was this is like the quote from Graciela. I think I'm going to make a Facebook meme of it.
Uh-oh.
Every book has the potential to change my life. Like, yes, it does. So yes, awesome.
Yeah. I think that's why I've always been such a voracious reader, because I'm like, there's one sentence in here that's going to change my life. So I
absolutely. And I probably would have like over 2,000 books, except for, and I mentioned this in another episode a while back, like I was like, these books need to change other people's lives. And so I have gone through and there was a bit of anxiety about it. It's a little bit like, I don't have kids, but I'm like, it kind of felt like I was giving away my children.
It's true though. It's true. I can still remember being 11 years old and letting my cousin's wife borrow It. Remember Stephen King's It? And she still hasn't given it back. I mean, I'm 47. I'm still holding on to I don't lend out books. I'm sorry. I'll buy it for you, but I'm not lending it out anymore.
I cannot give up my books. I know. I keep thinking about like what Julietta does, and I'm like, I just love my books. If I'm gonna hang on to one thing, I think it's my books.
No. Listen,
all right, Graciela.
Don't tell my old high school, but I did steal my English books, my English textbooks, because I knew I was going to be an English teacher, and I was like, but I love these. So I legit still have my high school English textbook. I can't throw it away. It weighs like 50 pounds. It's important.
What's your takeaway today, Graciela?
Oh, my takeaway is that how important this is, like the community of this, of carving out the time to have these conversations. Like, you guys are amazing. And I'm so glad I know you outside of this little 27-minute interview. And I think what you guys are doing is really amazing. So I appreciate you. That's my takeaway is gratitude that you guys are doing this, that you're putting these voices out there. You never know who needs to hear it. We are living books, right? There's something that we say, one sentence, one word, that's going to blow someone's mind. So you got to open your mouth. You got to share your shit. There's a quote for you. Share your shit.
You just gave me total chills. And I'm going to re-listen to this because there's so many things Graciela said that I'm making into little memes or something. I'm doing something.
She is a meme generator.
Seriously, awesome. Thank you so much, Graciela, because you seriously gave me chills, because that is exactly why Julietta and I decided to do this. Was we wanted to support women out there. So many women struggle in so many ways, and we just wanted to give them the encouragement and hear from other women like you and all the amazing women that we have interviewed and we will interview. They have so much to offer. And I love that you said that, because it's so true. I may say something and Julietta may say something, but you hear it differently from Julietta than you do from me. Everybody's voice is different and gets take is different.
This is our modern village. You know, I was thinking on the drive in today, it really does take a village, you know, and it's an old African proverb for a reason, right? Because it is true. It takes a village. Unfortunately, the way our homes and our societies are set up, it's not easy for us to get together and commune, right? But this is okay. We can do a virtual, you know, village of the millennium. That's okay. And you know what? We get to expand, right? Because in person, you would only have your neighbors, but now this is virtual. This is going worldwide. I know somebody in Egypt is listening to this, right? So,
yeah. Awesome.
And how interesting is that? So anyway, let me know when you guys do the expanded version of this. We'll do the 3 hours, sit on a couch, put your feet up and have the chat. I'm all for it.
That sounds like a blast.
We might have to make that like a master class where people have to like register for.
Yeah. This is like,
and I think we're having it at her studio.
Yes,
for sure.
Super fun.
For sure.
All right,
with champagne and charcuterie boards.
Oh yeah, I could spin the camera around, but yeah, we have lots of champagne.
So anyway, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Graciela, and thank you to our audience out there. If you've liked what you've heard, please subscribe, follow us, like us, comment, share, get the word out there so that we can help more goddesses out there bloom into... Ooh, Allison has something to say.
Really quickly, those of you that live in South Florida, we will have Graciela's information in the show notes and the comments, so you can check out doing a boudoir photo shoot of your own.
Thank you.
That's what I was just about to say, is that all of the links, everything you need to know how to find out more information about what we talked about on this episode will be in the show notes, in the comments, where you will find it. So thank you all so much for joining us today, and I wish you all a magical day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Graciela.
Thank you.